What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Dirty Dersch Fishing. And I've made it to one of my favorite ponds of all time, and it is really early out. To be honest, I don't even want to tell you guys what time I went to bed last night. That's because I never went to bed last night. I pulled an all-nighter last night. So at like 5:30 this morning, I was like, you know what? Let's go fishing before I go to bed. So I'm gonna get a couple hours of fishing in this morning, hopefully hooking into some big bass. I'm gonna be using a Magnum fluke today. This thing is 7 inches long. And at this pond, it's so weedy and so full of lily pads out there that I have no choice but to throw a frog or something weightless. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw a weightless Texas rigged fluke today. But stay tuned, I have a good feeling about today. Alright, I'm gonna be trying out a new Ugly Stik rod that I just bought. It's called the Ugly Stik Elite. It was $50. And I have a huge problem with breaking my rod tips. So I'm hoping with this Ugly Stik, I'm not gonna break my rod tip and I can keep this rod for a long time, because like 90% of the time when I throw away a rod, it's because I've broken the rod tip like 6 times and it's like half the size and it's like super heavy. Alright, there's a little opening right here. So there's a little opening right here, so I'm gonna target this little open water first. Alright, the rod is definitely pretty stiff for a medium heavy, but I'm glad it's like that because I'm fishing very heavy cover. So that extra stiffness is going to be nice. Rod isn't very sensitive either. I already can tell that right off the bat. Man, I love fishing this pond. I'm just walking to the next spot and I'm just remembering all the big fish I caught here. This pond actually used to have my old personal best at 6 1/4 here. Caught that one on the inline spinner. And then 2 years later, I broke my PB again with 7 pounds, 1 ounce. And then 2 years after that, I broke another PB. Now my PB is 7 pounds, 9 ounces. But I mean, this pond is basically where it all started for me. I remember catching like a 3.5 pound bass and just feeling how much that bass fought. I was like, yep, I'm gonna be bass fishing for the rest of my life. And that was only like a 3 pounder I caught. The sun at this spot is pretty brutal. So I doubt my GoPro is gonna have a good angle right here, but let's see if we can get down in this water here. That's why I brought my waders. Alright, here we go. Ooh, swing and a miss on that one. He didn't even come close to it. Ugh, so many spider webs. Come on, baby. Nice bass. Out it pops out, but first bass of the day. That is awesome. He hammered the 7-inch fluke. Alright guys, first bass of the day, and it is a beauty. I'm sure because the sun was right there, you guys probably didn't see him hit, but back in the grass he goes. I'm standing in like 2.5 feet of water, so there's plenty of room for him to swim back. Alright, that is first fish this morning. Been here about 15 minutes, and just in the 15 minutes of being here, it's already warmed up like 5 degrees. The sun's coming up over the clouds. This morning it was really chilly, but that's awesome that it's getting pretty chilly out because that's lowering the temperature of the water. And I'm hoping that will improve my fishing because I've been in a slump recently. Man, and this ugly stick rod really handled that fish well. I really had to force him up through the weeds and over top the grass over there to really get him in. And 20-pound test, and this ugly stick rod really did the trick. Alright, so far so good with this ugly stick elite rod. So far, to me, it's worth the $50. And I know I just started fishing with this, so you're probably like, Dersch, how do you know it's worth $50 already? Just because, in my opinion, $30 for the regular ugly stick GX2, that is a good deal, just because how strong the rods are, and you're not going to snap it in half, like I normally do. And when they came out with an ugly stick with cork handles, even though it's probably fake cork, I just love cork handles, so much better than foam. But I am off to the second half of this pond. The second half of this pond is a lot less weedy than the first half. And plus two, hopefully it'll be in the shade a little bit more so my GoPro isn't pointing right at the sun. Maybe with that stream coming in here, it's going to push cooler water into this pond, and maybe fish will be congregating in this area over here. I hope anyway. That's the plan. Alright, this is my last cast here. I've stayed here for too long. It just looks so fishy around me. I can't believe I didn't catch a fish in this spot. Well, some would say that didn't feel good. Oh, holy crap.
Oh, he hammered it. Are you serious? This little bass hammered it that hard. This guy hammered it. I'm not even kidding you. When I set that hook, I was like, oh my goodness, 3-pounder. Nope. Just a little guy here. That was cool. Alright, that is fish number 2 today on this big fluke. I was just about to switch to a Senko, but if a small bass ate a 7-inch fluke, I don't think I'm using a bait that's too big for the fish in here. Fish in here are pretty aggressive, as you guys just saw.
So I'm fishing the last spot of the day. Hopefully I can hook into a big fish. I did have a good feeling this morning, and I was like, you know what? I haven't fished like my favorite pond at all this summer. Speaking of which, I need to bring my kayak back here and fish bad. I love fishing this spot on my kayak. So far, the only thing I've noticed though is maybe the medium heavy is just not sensitive enough. Maybe like the medium power rods are a little bit more sensitive, but just the medium power and my medium heavy power, in my opinion, just this rod just isn't sensitive. No way to say it other than that.
Got him. Got him. Got him. Woo! That was cool. Oh man, that was cool. What an awesome catch.
Hey, there we go. What a nice bass. Probably about 1.5 pounds.
Whew. All right, that will get your blood racing right there. Oh my God, giant, guys, giant. I can't believe I just caught that though. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I literally just caught that bait when it was screaming back at me. I can't believe that fish took it. I had weeds on the bait.
So, my thoughts on the Ugly Stick Elite Rod. For the first impressions, actually, is pretty good. For the conditions I was fishing today, the stoutness of this rod was actually perfect. Although it's a little bit heavier than a medium heavy usually is, in my opinion, but like today, it worked out perfect. And another thing is, I don't even think I used the Ugly Stick Elite Rod enough today to really give you guys a really good, solid review. This is just like first impressions type stuff, and for $50, I'm already pretty impressed. But I will be back here on my kayak because I love kayaking this pond. It's actually one of my favorite ponds of the kayak. I think it's so awesome looking here. It's so bassy. I know there's some big fish in there because I've caught them before. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace.